Back in the summer of 1998, I was giving a speech in the Air Canada Centre in Toronto, and I met a speaker backstage, another speaker named Doug Weed. Doug had been an instrumental part of helping Ronald Reagan win the 1980 presidential election to defeat Jimmy Carter. He served in Reagan's administration, then later in the first Bush administration. And a couple years later, Doug introduced me to President Bush, George W. Bush, who later appointed me to the National Charity Committee. And Doug and I worked under President Bush to raise millions of dollars for charity. Well, here's the backstage, back of the scenes story. Doug was one of the key people that helped the Christian right elect Ronald Reagan over a truly devout Christian, Jimmy Carter, a guy that taught Sunday school until he was 99 years old. Reagan was not even really religious, but he convinced the religious right to elect Reagan because their ultimate goal, this is one-on-one, Doug told me this over 25 years, their ultimate goal was to impose Christian nationalism in the United States of America. Well, if you know anything about me, I disagreed with Doug completely. Doug and I were friends until he died last year, but we were very good friends. We worked on conventions all over the world together. He was one of the greatest speakers I've ever seen in my life. He was a great guy, but I completely disagreed with the idea of Christian nationalism. This is basically living under the Bible, where the United States becomes a theocracy. And so if you're anything but a white male, if you want to know how that would go for you, read the Bible. If you're a woman, you better submit to your man. Your man can beat you, tell you what to do. You won't be able to vote. Of course, now you can't get an abortion anyway. That's outlawed. They did get that. And if you're a minority of any kind, a homosexual, oh my God, forget it. You're probably going to be in jail. This is not where you want to see the United States of America go. Okay, the reason I say this is because obviously Project 2025 and Donald Trump are trying to take this country toward a theocracy. This is the most dangerous thing in the history of the United States of America. There's a book out I just read. I did not write this book, but this is by Professor Bradley Onishi, Preparing for War. It's a great book. I just finished it. It basically cites the entire history of this Christian nationalist movement. By the way, of which Charlie Kirk, who was just murdered, which was absolutely horrible, but of which he was a big proponent. This is where they want to take the United States. We don't want to live in this kind of a country. Read this book. Even if you're not a reader, read this book, and it puts the framework of the last 45 years together, just like Doug did for me, and you'll see how dangerous of an era we are in right now.